The next item we're going to talk about is the Cta Foamer. The Cta Foamer is the chemical tire applicator. This is a foaming applicator set up with two nozzles on each side with air and chemical mix to get a good foam coverage on the tire itself. It's driven by a G57 pump station. It's got a 515 hydrominder on it, so we can do some concentrated dilutions. It's got air going in and again air coming out to make the foam. And we'll turn it on now and we'll take a look and see how it's adjusted. It looks right now that it's got a little bit too much air. Air adjustment is on the top right. This is our line, the yellow line going out. And we'll set it about 25 PSI. If we slow it down a little bit, if we slow it down too much, we get just all liquid. If we bring the air up a little bit now, we get it. We're looking for a wet foam that'll actually stick to the wheel. Okay. Looks pretty good there, and then we've also got a little fine adjustment down here for our air and our chemical. Again, we can open our air up a little bit more. And play with our water and our air as well. And what we're looking for there, and this is kind of hot, is just a wet foam with a lot of lubricity to help clean the tires and the brake dust. Our mag wheel applicator is two tall trees set up to try to hit center of the rim and cover the entire wheel with what we call a full cone nozzle, opposed to the fan nozzle that we had on the Cta. The full cone nozzle sprays a pattern that is actually a full circle, and it fills in the middle, not an outside cone, but a full cone. It's driven again by a G57 pump station here, but with no air attachment. So the only thing that's making that look like it's foamy a little bit is the nature of the chemical itself. The more pressure we put into that pump, the more pressure we put into it, the more volume we get out the bottom. So what we're looking for is at about the 75 car chain speed that we had, about 40 PSI is enough to give us a full coverage on the wheel. If we were to run the conveyor a little bit faster, we may have to come back here and turn up our air pressure to get more chemical to hit that wheel as it goes by a little bit quicker. But about 40 PSI will give us just about the right amount of chemical, the right amount of pressure so that the wind doesn't disturb it and it covers the wheel completely. Next item we want to explain is our tire locator switch. It's a Locator or a tape switch, floor switch, recessed in the floor so we don't cause a bump or a roll forward on a vehicle. It's mounted in the concrete directly in line with our photo eyes. The way it works is when the photo eyes see the front bumper of the vehicle, the computer starts to measure. As it measures the length of the vehicle, it also picks up each impulse for the front tires and the rear tires. And it'll tell the computer that 17 inches from the front bumper, there's a tire. And then 6 feet from that first tire, there's a second tire. Therefore, all of our wheel and tire applications don't need any treadles. The computer will automatically open the solenoid valve and activate them when the tire should be there, based on the eyes and the tape switch working together to sense that wheel. To test the switch, have two people, one at the computer, one at the floor switch, step on the switch and release a couple of times while your partner is looking at the computer at the input that reads tire switch. Every time you step on it, the tire switch should light. If it doesn't, then we know we have a faulty switch. Switch needs to be replaced. One of the symptoms of a faulty tape switch will be an application of only tires or wheel cleaning or omni following to just one wheel, whether it be the front wheel or the back wheel. If any one of those functions follows both the front and the back wheel, then the tape switch is working okay. If all three of the functions only follow the front wheel or only follow the back wheel, then the problem is more likely the tape switch. If you find out that two are following the front and only one's not, the problem's not with the tape switch, the problems would be the solenoid valve or the individual relay controlling that one function that's not doing its full duty. If all the tire functions are functioning properly and going on and off on both tires, then the tire switch is okay. Other than that, it's pretty maintenance free. It does its job until it fails. When it fails, it's up to the operator to notice the failure based on one of the functions and then to replace it. But other than that, it saves treadles and saves a lot of extra work on the floor by having a tire switch.